Hello, Penrose families, and welcome to your online tutorial as to how Penrose Elementary School is going to be doing distance learning for the next several weeks. We're going to start off by getting on an internet browser. It doesn't matter which one you get on, and we're going to go to d11.org/Penrose. That should bring you to the Penrose Elementary website. The students are very familiar with this. They use it all the time when they're at school. And we're going to start off by clicking the Students tab over here in the upper right-hand corner. From there, students are going to be looking for the Schoology icon. Schoology is the agreed upon platform that all of the Penrose teachers are going to be using while we're doing distance learning through this quarantine. So students will go ahead and click on that Schoology link. From here, the students are going to have to log into this D11 page. This is going to look a little different for many of our students since we're going to be using their D11 email address. Some students didn't even know they had a D11 email address, but every student does. Your teacher should be reaching out to you through some form of communication, through email, phone calls, Seesaw, Class Dojo, Remind, whatever it is they use to communicate with you. They will be communicating your student's district email address and their network password. For most of our students, it will be their first name, period, last name at d11.org. That's how most of our emails are going to look. If your student has a hyphenated last name, this is going to look a little different. And for some of them, more common names, sometimes it will have a number also added to their email address. Their password is going to be their network password. This is what your student would use every time they log into a computer at Penrose Elementary. You could also remind them that it's also what's on the back of their library card. It's the same password, so the students will log in with that password as well. Once they're logged in, it's going to bring them up to their Schoology dashboard. It's going to have some updates about things that are happening in their classes. Your students are going to be assigned to multiple classes because we have a lot of classes at our school that we're trying to connect with your students. But the first thing we're going to do whenever we log into Schoology is we're going to go to courses first. And what we're going to look for is the morning announcements. Okay, we're going to go start there. That's where Mrs. Soman is going to be giving her morning announcements, letting students know what's going on at Penrose Elementary School. And parents, this would be a great portal for you to get a little bit more information about what's happening with District 11 and the COVID-19 quarantine that we're currently under. So this is going to be a great place to kick off your day. Mrs. Soban has promised that she will make her live morning announcements every morning at 9 o'clock. If you're available to log in at 9 o'clock, your students can see it live. They will be able to interact with Mrs. Soban, say hello, maybe drop a couple comments to her. If you are unable to log in right at 9 o'clock, that is okay. You're welcome to check those messages either later on in the afternoon, or you can check them this weekend. You can click the morning announcements and you can see where she will have recorded those announcements. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that in just a couple of moments. Once we've completed the morning announcements, our students are going to have a lot of things already put on their page. There's going to be a lot of these blank lessons that are going to say period 1 reading, period 2 math, period 3. Unfortunately, these are courses that we can't get rid of. They are going to come back every single night, so even if we delete them, they are going to return. It's something that D11 had to do when we were syncing our classes with Schoology, so there are going to be a lot of blank classes that your students aren't going to use. We have recommended that teachers either change their icon to something that looks a little bit different, and they can look for their class name. So for example, the student's going to go into Mr. Stutz's 3rd grade class. When they come in, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. Some of the teachers will have created courses, some will have created groups. Once you find your teacher's class, the first thing that I would recommend that we do every day is we're going to check the updates. Okay, when we check the updates, it's going to show us some of the instructions that our teachers have for us. Maybe they'll have given us our assignments right here located in this updates page. Sometimes the teachers can also record a video, so you might also see a video of your teacher chatting with you with their expectations for the day. This is also a great place to just chat with your teacher, maybe ask some questions, find out how they're doing. Also, everyone in the class can see what this conversation is going to look like. So if you'd like to say hello to your friends, this is a great place that you could say hello and type them a message if you would like. Sometimes when the teacher is finished sending you the instructions, they might send you to either the materials or the resources tab located over here on the left-hand side of the screen. When I click the materials or the resources tab, it's going to show me my folders and some of the assignments that the teachers have given for me today. In this case, Mr. Stutz has assigned the math decimals assignment in our math folder. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so I can get started with math. And we're going to see that he has asked that we convert a couple of fractions into decimal form. Sometimes there'll be a comment box here in case you have any questions for your teacher, if you need further clarification, or if you'd like some more instructions on how to complete the assignment, you can ask questions here. However, when you're ready to submit your assignment, we can click the Submit Assignment button here on the left, on the right. We have a couple different ways that we could upload our assignment. If you are computer savvy and you went in and made a Word document to answer today's questions for your assignment, you'll click this File button right here, and it will allow you to upload a file into your class so that way you could turn in your assignment. You can also click on this microphone button here in the middle. It will allow you to make an audio or a video recording. The easiest way to do this is if you have a camera or a microphone on your computer, you could do this from your computer. If not, parents, you are welcome to download the Schoology app onto your tablet or onto your smartphone, and then students can easily do the recording on your smartphone and then upload it directly into the lesson. But probably the simplest way to complete your lessons is going to be this Create button right here in the middle. The Create button is going to give you something of like a Word document right here that's going to allow you to type in your answers to your assignment, and that way you'll be ready to submit. So when you're finished, we'll hit the Submit button down here, and it will send your answers to your teachers so they could look them over. Also, under materials, there's also an upcoming tab that's sometimes over here on the right. The teachers will use these from time to time to let you know of any hard deadlines that are coming up. For instance, in Mr. Stutz's class, there's a quiz on Mrs. Frisbee on April 6th. It's also going to show when the online meeting times are going to be. So sometimes your teachers are going to be doing live lessons and conferences with you. If you are available and you could join in, it's a good way to have some FaceTime with your teacher. We can either click the link here under the upcoming event, or the easiest way to do it is to go over here to conferences. So I'm going to go ahead and click on conferences. And it's going to show me when some of my upcoming conferences are going to be. So some of these conferences haven't started yet, and it's going to give me the date and times that these upcoming conferences are going to happen. These could be live lessons that your teacher is going to be teaching you something, or it could be maybe they're just checking in and want to see how you're doing while we're in quarantine and see how everyone is holding up. So these are where upcoming chats are going to be. If you can't make it to the live chat, because again, we know several of you have siblings that maybe all of you need to be logged in at the same time, that's okay. If we come up here to the completed button right up here at the top, it'll show us, oh, yep, I missed a writing class. I could just click the play button right here and it will replay that lesson for me so I didn't miss anything in the conference. That way I can keep up with my classes and I'm not falling behind. When I've completed all of my teacher's assignments for the day, I can go back up to the top and I can continue into courses or groups, and I can look for other things as well. Some of the other students all have things like Penrose Random Acts of Kindness, where there'll be some random acts of kindness information. There's also our specials classes. So for instance, art, PE, and music will also have Schoology courses for your students to get into. If you don't locate those on your course dashboard, simply click the My Courses button up here and it will give you even more selections. Here's some things to think about when you're doing this distance learning with Penrose Elementary is we are not, I repeat, we are not expecting your students to spend 6, 7, 8 hours on the computer every day. We want to create kind of a flexible routine for them so that way they can jump into distance learning and really get something out of it. So we've created something of a practice daily schedule for your families that, again, if you can do this, wonderful. If you can't, that's okay. We're suggesting that students log in at 8:45 into Schoology to start their normal school day. And again, at 9 o'clock every morning, Mrs. Sobin will be doing her live morning announcements that we highly recommend that you go watch. From there, the student will continue on to their teacher's Schoology class, so that way they can hear what their assignments are going to be for the day. From there, we're expecting students to go to a specials Schoology course. Just like our normal week in school, every student will have to go to each special twice, meaning PE twice, music twice, and art twice. So twice every week, we're expecting the students to click into those classes and to do the assignments that are assigned by your specials teachers. From there, give your kids a bit of a break, let them go wash their hands, eat a snack, take a break, go out and play. Remember, it's hard for adults even to do this for a long time during the day. Let's give them some breaks. Kind of what we're expecting from a normal day is 1 to 2 hours of virtual learning in Schoology. That's watching those morning announcements, working with your teachers, getting on the specials, and finding out what your assignments are for the day. We also expect maybe 20 to 30 minutes offline. Students could be working on maybe a math assignment that their teachers had given to them. They could go to ST Math where they could do some additional work there. But we just want them to do a little bit of extra math practice that's not necessarily while they're on the computer. Same thing with getting some reading time in. Maybe 20 to 30 minutes every day will continue to help your students with fluency and help them to continue to improve on their reading. We also highly suggest doing some physical activities, maybe letting the students play outside, go for a walk, maybe doing something physical around the house so that way they are getting some of that extra energy out. If you haven't figured it out by now, those kids are chock full of energy and they're going to be bouncing off the walls at this point. So let's give them something focused and something that they can work on. Penrose Elementary is also a random acts of kindness school, so we encourage students to help each other out. We still expect this at home, so maybe assigning your kids some chores. Maybe they're going to be doing the dishes or helping you with dinner for this evening, maybe helping out with the laundry. There's a lot of things that they could be doing to make them better citizens, which really is what part of school is here for, right? Last but not least, giving your kids a chance to do some personal growth. Maybe they could do a genius hour where they get online and they're researching just something that they're interested in. Maybe having a family talk where they're chatting with you with how their online learning is going. Maybe getting a chance to journal or do some free drawing. It's still things that are academic that are going to get them thinking, but it is kind of some downtime that, again, they're not necessarily in front of a computer. Some other things to consider. The weekly schedule is going to look something like this. Mondays are going to be kind of a catch-up day for you and your students. The teachers will be in online meetings during that day. We're going to be doing some planning for the rest of the week. So we want you to use Monday to kind of get caught up on your lessons and assignments from the week before. So if you fell behind, this is a good chance for you to kind of get caught up on that work. Tuesday through Friday is when we're expecting students to be logging in and doing their lessons. Again, that's watching Mrs. Sobin's morning announcements, checking in with their class, going to specials. Also consider some of the other groups that are going to be courses offered to your students. So for kiddos who need extra help, if you work with Mrs. Hill, Mrs. Nelson, or Mrs. Ridge, they will also have Schoology lessons embedded for you. If you'd like to go click over to their classes, they can offer some additional help. Mrs. Warner in her GT class will have a Schoology course. ELL students who work with Mrs. Sisk, she will also have a course. Anyone that works with Mrs. Floyd, our speech pathologist, she will also invite you to some of her groups. And then the 4th and 5th graders that are in band and orchestra, Ms. Pasha will also have some courses available online for you. Again, check into those every once in a while and let's get hooked up on some lessons. Let's not fall behind on our band work, for example. Let's stay on top of that. Some things to remember, parents. We're all learning this together, the teachers and the students, so let's just be patient with this process. We're all in this together, so let's really help each other out. Be patient with Schoology. Millions of people are logging into Schoology right now, so sometimes the website's going to crash or the internet's going to be a little bit slow. So let's just have a little bit of patience when it comes to that, and then offer a lot of patience to your kids. They're learning this program. This is not how they expected to be learning either. Let's give them a little bit of grace. Remember to give those students some breaks during the day. That's really going to help them out. And last but not least, this is a fun opportunity. For many of our students who are going to stay in District 11, e-learning is something that we'll continue to use in middle school and high school. So just think of this as sort of a jump start into what middle school and high school learning is going to be about. If you have any further questions, here's some contact emails. If we can help you out in any way, please let us know. There's also on the Penrose website, there is a staff directory. So if you need email addresses for your teachers, this is a good place to check that out. Thank you so much for learning with this tutorial. Good luck with your distance learning, and we'll see you on online April 7th.